Alright guys, well, we'll do something a little bit different. It's gonna be sorry I didn't dress up or anything. I'm doing a bunch of maintenance today, trying to catch up on some stuff. A little bit slow work wise. I've got a couple big projects, but I'm not ready to start them until next week. So anyways, we're gonna do a review on a cedar, but it's not gonna be my cedar. I'm walking back here to show you my cedar. This is basically a Woods super cedar. It's a Frontier brand, but Woods makes it for Frontier. And this is 100% across the board identical to a Woods super cedar. I've got the 3 boxes on mine. Native box, cool season grass, and small seed box. If I ever did it again, I wouldn't put the small seed box on it. It doesn't put out enough rate. I think max it puts out like 52 pounds an acre of ryegrass. Let's just use that as an example. Normally what I do is I'll put natives in. If I do brome, I may do, I don't know, 100, 150 pounds of rye an acre. That might be a little heavy on my brome grass. But I know a lot of spec when I'm seeding for engineered sites and stuff. I run 25 pounds. This does about 27 pounds of native and or brome grass. Run that all through this native box. Usually I've got to put about 150 pounds, maybe 200 pounds of ryegrass down per acre is what the spec is. It's not what I decide to do. It's what spec on the seed plans are. I've seeded, I feel like all my life, I've ran a bunch of cedars. We're actually going to go look at a seed drill today from a company that I really like their cedars. And they're pretty reasonably priced compared to some of the other better cedars out there. I'm not saying this is a bad cedar. I'm just saying there is a lot of room for improvement. One of the improvements I would probably do, I would put a better disc on it. These discs are super lightweight. I can't see one right now, but I bent these up on a job site. Here's a couple right here that are still bent, and I straightened those out. I straightened everything out, and then I went and seeded something, and it had just a little bit of rock in it, and it bent the discs up again. So I contributed it the first time to all that heavy trash. Well, this other one, I've seeded sites like this many times, and it had minimal rock in it. Anything fist or bigger, I pull. Normally, if I'm leaving something, it might be the size of a golf ball or smaller. I won't go through and nitpick and pick all that small stuff up. It's never in the spec to pick up anything. I just pick up, I always tell people, if it's this big or bigger, pick it up. And I'll pick up stuff bigger than that, or smaller than that, rather. I'll pick this up if there's one. If there's 10 of them scattered out, I wouldn't pick it up. I won't pick up that. That'd be picked up. This definitely. Something like this, I'd pick that up. It's the size of my fist. I'd pick that up. That's not a very big rock. If that was out there and I covered it with a little bit of dirt and seeded it, you would probably never find that with a mower. But generally, I picked that up, and it dented the discs again. So I may end up switching the disc out to something better. I actually made a tool that makes it real easy to straighten them. I may just straighten them. So let's go over some likes and dislikes of the cedar. Let me try to get you here. So look at this lid. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if I can get you anywhere to show you the flex in the lid. Let's put you up here. Maybe up here on my shirt. I love this camera. I don't know if you can see that. It's a real flimsy lid. And that's the hold down deal. You got to flip it over and all that to make it stay. I'm sure I know what the drill is going to be when I get there, but we'll find out. Brome grass and all the above. If you've got Indian grass, stuff like that, big and little blue stem, everything else. Usually this is in my mix. I'll have Indian grass, little and big blue stem, switchgrass, some other stuff. But on the low side, you're right there around that 23, 29 pounds an acre. So that puts you right there at about 25 pounds an acre. I feel like it does about 27 pounds an acre with brome or native grass. So, and let's also show you this. So this is why, hang on, wrong hand holding the camera. This is why a native box is needed for brome and natives. Big fluffy grass is what the natives are. Brome is just a pretty good size lightweight seed. You need a good agitator. This box works really good. I have no complaints about the workings of the box. After I fixed it, I ended up having to drill this hole bigger. I don't know. I think I put a video out there. If not, I was probably just trying to be kind at Woods because I feel like I beat on the cedar a bunch. But basically, the pin was undersized. And then you get to the side of it, and there's a whole bunch going on in here. They usually have these push detent pins. I've removed all the detent pins, and I have 1/4-inch bolts with metal lock nuts. That way I can positively secure it, because I have had 2 pins pop out as I'm seeding. I don't know when it stopped. Then I'm not seeding a certain area, and then it messed the chains up twice on one job site. So I took the pins out, and now we run bolts in it. So don't really have a problem with the cool season box. I do kind of wish it had more of an agitator than just a roll pin. And then the other thing is the angle of the bottom of the box. I'm going to try to show you what I'm talking about. So I don't know how the camera is showing it. You're about level. So if you look at this, I don't know if you can tell, angle doesn't show up a whole lot. This is going uphill right here. It's going uphill. So normally when I'm seeding, the seeder's level, it'll have seed sitting from about right here to right here. It'll be kind of bellowed up, and it won't make it into the seed cups. So what I do is I end up having to take my top link on my tractor and kind of bump it like this, because I can move it pretty quickly and it'll kind of bounce the seeder. And then I have to come back and pull the seed back to get it to go down the cups. And there's probably 10 to 20 pounds that would be left in the box if you don't come back here and mess with it. I asked the rep at one point in time. He said they used to have brush agitators for these. He was going to check and see. I never did hear back, but I didn't really push it. I didn't call him again. So I just deal with this. I thought about making agitators, but the seeder itself is just agitating. So, and maybe I can show you here, since this is leaning up against the other box. I just want you to take note of kind of how floppy that is. And then these bolts, it just has little stainless bolts. And I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm just showing you the quality, and then we're going to look at another drill and we're going to see how different it is. And then I'm going to give you the price, because I got a bid on it. It's not that much more money. Okay, next problem with the seeder, and it does a good job. We're going to go by and look at a seed job that I just seeded with this 2 weeks ago also. Tall fescue. You can do buffalo grass. I do some buffalo grass every once in a while. We do some winter wheat. What else do we do that's actually on here? I do annual ryegrass quite a bit. I actually use this box instead of the small seed box, and I'll show you why here in a minute. For the annual rye in this is actually meant to do annual rye over, and anyways, I'll show you. But let's just say tall fescue. You go all the way down here. It's the white one. Maxed out, the cedar will do 252 pounds per acre. That's it. 252 pounds an acre. That's what I overseed with. Not primary seed. I overseed with about that. Rule of thumb, most engineered spec on a site plan that I have to go follow, most of them say 10 pounds per acre. I've always been told all my life in Kansas you want 8 to 10 pounds per acre to establish a yard, and that's just to start establishing a yard. Generally what I find, I'll run a seed from Site 1. It's called Teammates, and it's got annual ryegrass and fescue in it. I really like the blend. I put some down 2 weeks ago, and we're going to go by and look at it on the way to look at this seed drill. A buddy of mine called and said, holy cow, what the hell did you do to that yard? I thought it was something bad, and he was like, dude, the yard's in. We've had zero rain. The builders had to water it, so we're going to see what it looks like. So if you're doing 43,560 square feet, easy math, if you're doing 10 pounds per thousand, you need 435 pounds. I mean, do the math, but it's 435 pounds. Normally I do 450 pounds an acre. That's what I do. And I get, of my particular fertilizer, I get 4 bags per acre and throw it down. I run 18-24-12 at Site 1. I really like it. 4 bags an acre will yield you a pretty good yard. We're going to go find out today on the way to look at the other drill. Now, small seed box. You know, same cups as everybody else. Oh, let's see. I'd never try to put tall fescue in here, but it does 51 pounds per acre. All these are per acre increments. Annual ryegrass will do 47 pounds per acre, wide open. 47 pounds an acre. So let's just say I have to put 150 pounds an acre down. I can't do it with the small seed box. The only reason I really got the small seed box is I wanted to start running Bermuda grass. I've got 2 yards that I did last year, and they came in really good. I really don't like the Bermuda in Kansas. I'd much rather have zoysia. I know nobody puts any new technology or new strains of zoysia out, as what I've been told by everybody. Everybody said Bermuda's the future. I like zoysia grass. It grows in thicker. It spreads plenty quick for me. I don't know what zoysia that I'm getting, because the place that I get my zoysia pads from has been established so long, they said nobody knows what strain it is. I assume it's Zenith, but we're going to start hydroseeding zoysia next year. I know it's a 2-month process basically to get it up to where you have to mow it, but we're going to irrigate my yard, and we're actually going to try it here first. All right, next problem with the cedar, the scrapers. That scraper lives pretty good on the back of it. I don't know if you've seen the video of me putting the other scraper on. You see I've got a bracket there and a bracket there. The scraper's in the shop. That scraper bends all the time. This one got bent once, and I bent it back, but it's very flimsy. I'm not putting a lot of force on that. So, very flimsy. I don't know if the drill we're going to look at has the scrapers on it. I kind of hope it does, because I would like everybody to see that. But I'm not dogging on this cedar at all. This cedar does really well. I've been told this yard looks really good. We're going to go look at it. I do like this. This is how you precisely measure how much seed your metering cups are coming down, and it catches it in the little tray. But an easy way around that is, normally the amount that I'm having to measure, I have to put a bag up underneath. I don't remember if it's 2 cups or 3 cups or two seed cups or what, but I catch the seed in the bag and then I weigh it, because the seed will overflow that little tray. I never thought about it when I bought it. I thought, oh, that's great. You know, you can measure it and weigh it, and I seed too much in one pass. So with this seeder, I have to make 2 passes with fescue to get a yard. I can single pass if I put my ryegrass in the big box, in the cool season box. I can seed 1 pass doing brome and natives. This has solved my problem with brome and natives, having the native box. So this is 100% been worth it to me for brome and natives. But for the price difference that I'm going to go over with you, I paid about $15,000 for this seeder. That's with the notch disc wheels, and I've got the cast iron cultipacker. If I did it again, I'd get the poly cultipacker with the down pressure kit. The poly automatically comes with down pressure. Reason being is this seeder is so long. Let me walk over all my stuff. You can see there's probably a good 12 to 14 inches there before it even gets to a seed box. And that thing is so incredibly long, it's pretty heavy for my tractor. So if you do the poly wheel, that would help with some of the weight, because that thing is pretty heavy hanging all the way back there. You're supposed to get the exact same pressure with the poly in the down pressure as you do with the cast iron. Well, if I would have done the poly, it would have been lighter on the tractor, picking it up. If I didn't have the third seed box, it'd be lighter on the tractor. I've actually thought about pulling that third seed box off and just putting it in the shop up on the shelf, because I'm sure it's not incredibly heavy, but it'd save me some weight, and it'd save me some of the chains over on the side dragging around, because really I don't use the small seed box. It'd be easy enough to pull this portion of the box off. I think it bolts onto here, and then I could just unbolt the box with 2 bolts aside, pull the chain, and just pull the third seed box off. I don't know how much that weighs, but it might be the difference of a couple 100 pounds, and it would probably help. So anyways, that's my current seeder. That's what we're going against. And this is, it's a contender. It is a contender. It seeds really good, but I have to make 2 passes. Imagine seeding. I've got a seed up here at the Amazon Fulfillment Center, or well, I call it Amazon. It's a big logistics area. Well, I just looked at it yesterday because they said they were ready for me, and we don't even have curb in yet. It's not graded. There's rock everywhere, and so they're not ready. They'll be ready in a couple weeks, but if I had to guess, I've got over 10 acres to do everywhere, all through the facility. Maybe it's probably 20 acres after it's all said and done. It's huge. I've got to do all turf grass. So instead of going around and seeding 10 acres, basically I'm seeding 20 acres, because I have to make 2 passes for the seeder to put down enough material to seed it in at 10 pounds per thousand, so I'm to spec. And then I'd like to seed a little more. So that one's set perfect right now. It puts down about 450 pounds an acre if I make 2 passes. I'd like to make it to where I don't make 2 passes, and I would like to get a little bit bigger seeder, but I'm glad I got the 6 instead of the 7 foot, because the 7 foot would have been too heavy for the tractor. So hopefully I'm not making this too long, but I wanted to give you a lot of detail on the seeder. And I do have a lot of experience with seeders. I've had a lot of Landprides. I've ran a couple Brillions. I haven't ever ran a Genesis or anything. You know, if they wanted to reach out and have me check out their seeder, I would. I've looked at them before. I think they're way overpriced for what they are. You can take my opinion and throw it in the trash if you want, but I think they're way overpriced for what they are. Let's go look at the job I seeded, and then we're going to go look at a drill. And I haven't been, that's why I want to go look at the drill. I haven't been up to one of these newer drills. I'll tell you what I used after we get there. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Let's go look at this seed job. Good job, builder. Good job, builder. He's doing a very good job. Are you ready? You can probably see it in the background over there. Yeah. I came that way and I saw the yard and I was like, wow. Great job. We have had 0 rain. Okay, I take that back. I seeded this a day and a half, 2 days after that. Let's just call it 2 days after that. We got a little bit of rain. I came over and it was pretty dry here. And then we got a rainstorm that night. I really don't think any of it hit here. All this is him watering. You can tell there's an arc right there where, you know, the sprinkler was hitting and not hitting. And then it looks like he drug that out there because I don't see the line in the yard like over here. You can usually see the lines in the yard where the hose sits a little bit and then they move it. But no, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. I told him he was going to have Johnson grass because there was a ton of Johnson grass in here that we sprayed and everything else. But whenever you go through and till up the ground, you kind of turn up a lot of that Johnson grass seed. And if it was stuff in the ground that wasn't germinated yet and didn't kill it off with the glyphosate, it's going to come back. So, but no, this is outstanding. Outstanding. Now this is 2 passes. I'm not turned all the way up. I'm turned probably 2/3 of the way up, 3/4 of the way up on the cedar. I don't remember what the setting is on there. Anyways, but I'm not all the way up. I'm like 232 pounds an acre is what it says on the chart, and that's about where I'm set. Well, we just got out here. I ran out to McConnell's. I'm out here in Lawrence, Kansas. Sign's on the front of the building, so you can't see it, but this is one of my Kubota dealers in my area. They got a couple Dash 3 machines. They got some 75. That's a 75 dash. That's a Dash 3. No, that's a Dash 2. Oh, that's a SSV. That's why it looks weird. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got 5 75-3s. They've got an 80, a 55, a 48, a 40. They have 2 40s. Oh, you're looking at the sky. And then they have a U75-2. This looks new. What is that big monster? Like an M6 or something? Yep, M6 131. Wow. I don't know, we might have to sit in that. It's kind of nice, but we're not here for that. Ooh, they got a 3712. I'm actually looking at a RC 2512, which is the lighter duty cutter than this. This has the heavier gearboxes and stuff like that on it. But I think I'm going to buy a 12 foot 25 series aircraft tires. This one's a little out of my price range. I'm just wanting to do some maintenance mowing and stuff like that, but that again isn't what we're out here to look at. We are here to look at the cedar. This one's a 6-footer. I am looking at a couple used because they are cheaper. But he said he had the 606 NT in stock. It's got all 3 seed boxes on it. And of course, you can tell this is a totally different animal than what my cedar is. That being said, my cedar cost me $16,000. I say 15. It was probably closer to 16,000. I paid cash for it. That was a deal. It was supposed to be a deal. I don't know if it was a deal. I've looked around and I could probably sell it used for what I paid for it. So I feel like I got a pretty decent deal on it. Even the Woods rep, I told him what I paid and he was like, wow, that's a pretty good deal. So that being said, let's just say I got a good deal, but I paid $16,000 for it. I can buy this for $23,000. Now, I know it's another, I don't know, what is that, $8,000 roughly? But you're literally getting double the cedar. You're getting double the amount of everything. This has so much adjustability. It's got turbo blades on the front, the turbo cultivators. That really, if you want no-till, those are going to get with it. You've got pressing wheels. You know, you've got seed drops. Looks like you can change where you drop the seed. No. Yes. No. These will end up going here. So those will drop the seed here. And then these will end up going here. So you can drop the seed in different spots for different depths. Or actually they're coming off of two different seed cups. You usually want to put natives and brome pretty shallow. So obviously this is going to be your native box, and then the smaller seed cups is going to be your fescue. I told my salesman that I talk to up here all the time, I was like, don't come over here unless you want to be on video. He said, no problem at all. I'm not going to be on video. He's heading to Easton to sell something. We are going to climb up on this because I want to show you the quality of the boxes. Now again, if I ordered one of these, I would not get the 2 used ones that I'm looking at. They don't have the small seed box. I want nothing to do with the small seed box. Obviously this is harder to get up on. It's a lot heavier, everything else, so you want the carriage. You can get this in a 3-point version, but especially with my tractor, there's no way I'm picking this up with my tractor. 3-point. No way. I mean, you may be able to get it off the ground, but you're doing nothing with it. So let's hang on. Let me figure out how I can get up here one-handed. And I would assume I'm not going to weigh enough to really affect how this thing sits here. I went up there with the wrong foot, but that's okay. This thing's so high up off the ground that, and I'm vertically challenged, there's no way. Wow. Okay. So, I thought the door was stuck. The door is very substantial. I can kind of get it to wiggle, but it's very substantial. All the Landpride cedars always have that hinge to where when you open it, it's locked. You don't have to fumble with the latch, anything like that. It's kind of odd that it has smooth. Oh, never mind. It's probably all the way closed off. Let's see. Is it all the way closed off? Yes. Okay. That's just that's the smooth part of the cylinder. I was like, how the heck is that going to grab any seat at all? Here, let's look at seed chart. If we can. I'm fat, so we don't have a seed chart. Okay. Never mind. As I tell you, I'm fat. I don't know if I can fold up to get into there. Okay. Very substantial latches. A lot better, a lot thicker than what the Woods has. And then when you open the door, it has a latch. Automatic latch. Very substantial door. No flex. No flex at all. I've actually never looked in a native box on a Landpride, and this is actually a Great Plains seed drill, but Landpride is owned by Great Plains, which all of it is owned by Kubota. They have made the decision at Landpride that you are not going to get any other color besides orange. They still have some old stock stuff. I really like the buckskin color. It's tan. Doesn't really look dirty on job sites. You can't get it anymore. So if there's old stock, you can get it. If there's new stock, if it's new stock, it's orange. The Great Plains is green like a deer. But most dealers that sell Landpride, they can do, this is called a compact drill. They can't get a Great Plains and vice versa. Great Plains dealers generally can't get Landpride stuff. It's weird. Same company, and it's just weird. Anyways, let's see. I don't know if that's added on, but I do like the agitators in it, but I do like this additional because that's going to help funnel material. This likes to loft, and it'll kind of do this. It'll pulsate because the seed's real fluffy, especially on natives. And this is actually going to help combat that and really get that seed over to that seed cup. I don't know if you can see the seed, the pickup wheel down there, but they are definitely more substantial than what is on my seeder. And then also, this actually has a seed cup body up underneath the seeder. Mine is actually just a drop seeder. It has the fingers with the wheel in there, but no metered seed cup. This is, to me, I would think this is a better setup. Again, the old drill that I used to use a Landpride. It was a Sure Stand. I think it was a Sure Stand primary seeder, but it was a drill, and it did a really good job. It had a native box on it, and it had a cool season box on it. This is your native box. That's all warm season grasses, and then this is your cool season. Now, I don't know if I necessarily love the fact, I mean, I guess with this box off, I would lose 6 inches, 8 inches, but that is a ways up here, and I would like to know how low this seeder goes, because obviously that box is loaded from the back. Now, granted, these lids are very substantial. I'd stand on that if it was my seeder. It's theirs, so I'm not going to stand on it, but if it was mine, you could stand on that lid. You're not going to hurt that lid. I'm going to have to kneel on the lid to get up here and open this cool grass. Huh. You know what that is? That is, I guarantee you, that is a gauge to tell you if your seed box has seed in it or not. When you lift it up, it pulls it up to the top with that cable, but when you lower it, that'll sit on top of your seed, and I bet you there's a gauge in the front to tell you when the seed box is empty. I was actually going to build something identical to that to put on my seeder, but I was trying to figure out how to do it for both boxes. I kind of came up with, I was going to have something basically with a lever that was outside the box, and it was going to come down on each one of the boxes. I'm kind of shocked to see that's basically what I was going to build. I was actually going to put a piece of PVC here and put caps on it and drill holes in the caps to make my float. Native grass reduction. We're going to open that and see what that is. There's your wiring harness for your travel lights. I don't know what that little bottle of grease stuff is. I'm going to have to lay on top of the cedar and find out, because I'm intrigued. Graphite powder. Huh. Seed flow lubricant. They actually give you a bottle of seed flow lubricant. And then you have a native grass reduction kit. I don't know what's in that. Hopefully we don't drop anything out of there. Oh, it's a gear set. I got that type of stuff with my wood seeder, by the way. Here's the clamps for your seed cups, actually on this box. Let's see what else we got. No, we're not gonna worry about it now. So what I want you to look at here, there's a big difference in between this one and mine. See how this is tapered? And the lowest point is where your seed cups sit. The lowest point, I'm gonna repeat it, the lowest point of the seeder is where your seed cups are. So you should not have to do anything at all to this to get the seed down there. Now, I was going to order mine with the agitator kit. That's where this goes. It would go through here. It would bolt into here for your center. And then it would go out over there. I do like how Landpride always has these big open spots to help equalize the seed on each side, but it acts as a baffle to strengthen the box. I like these seeders. Let me see if I can find the step so I can get my fat body off of here. I'm actually kind of surprised that we don't have seed charts. Maybe they're outside the seeder where we adjusted at. But I want you to look again. I mean, that thing's a little wild. Here, let's put you on the shirt. Let's close that one. We'll go back to this native box. I don't have a heavy shirt on today, so the camera's not real whoopy. I can't flex this, okay? I cannot flex this. I'm not trying to make it look like something it's not. It is just a lot better door and a lot better construction of everything. Look how they bend the angles here. They weld everything up. That's nice and gusseted. No just open box. Everything's got a return piece of metal on it. Big hinges. Big hinges. Look at that. It ain't some little tiny itty bitty 1/4 inch stainless bolt. I mean, that's probably got a hinge lug in it that they run that bolt through. Let's see. Does that come all the way over here? Surely not. No, so I don't know how they're doing that, because that's not welded on there. I don't know how they attach that box. But anyways, it's strong. Big giant gusset inside, all welded together. It's got a deflector shield there, so when you're adding seed, it doesn't get here. A well thought out seeder. I've never had a problem with a Landpride seeder. Nice adjustment on the press wheels. You just pull this up and you can adjust your press wheels. I don't know, I'm kind of impressed. I know this thing is heavy. I don't know how heavy it is, but I know it's heavy. I wouldn't mind talking with a guy that actually knows a lot about the drills, about gear set changes. I would assume, I don't see a panel, so maybe you carry your gear sets here. Never mind. Let's see if we can figure this out without knowing what we're talking about. That is heavier chain than what I have on my seeder, which is typical with Landpride. They usually do pretty heavy built stuff. Like I said, these turbo cultivators, I actually thought about putting those on my seeder and just leaving it straight. And that may be what I do, but I don't know if I can make everything work. It's kind of a different setup. This is kind of nice. You can seed the whole entire seeder from one spot. Granted, this has a lot more going on than my seeder, but it is kind of nice that it's got a grease bank on it. Here's our scale. Tells you if it's full or empty. I like that. Acre meter. I think that's, I don't quote me, I think it's factory. I think you automatically get a acre meter. I would say this is where we change our timing. This is probably where we change our timing. We got a lot going on here. Well, I would say that, but I don't know. I would think that it would be quick change. Like I said, I don't know what all's going on there. Nice heavy built top link for the tongue. Tongue's nice. Got a slip clevis in it. It's got both bolts in it, but you can make that a slip clevis. Looks like we have a couple other grease zerks here, there, and everywhere, but that's probably everything you can't get to unless you're climbing through the machine. So Looks like it comes with fittings, I would assume. Maybe they put fittings on it, so don't quote me. There's your adjustment. What is that? That is for our warm season grasses. There's our adjustment. I am surprised that I don't have a seed chart somewhere, to be honest with you. Normally it's in the boxes. Maybe that's something different. Here's that may actually be, I don't know if that's stock number. I know it's a 606 NT, but there's a couple other numbers that go with the model number. I'd have to find out for sure what number this was. Maybe it is just a 606 NT. I thought it had a couple other numbers to it. Let's see. So your warm season grass is going to be just set. Usually it's low, medium, and high. I think this actually has 4 speeds. And then your small seed box has your adjustment here. So your timing here, this is all going to be, let's see. I'm trying not to tell you incorrectly. I'm just looking at it and trying to figure our stuff out here. That's your drives for the small seed box. This, oh, okay. So here's your thumb screws. I guarantee you take this off, and that's probably your gear sets from the other side to change your gearing in your native box, because that's generally, you know, you can either have low and high. Generally on Landpride, you'll have low or high on your small seed box and your big seed box and stuff like that. Your cool season grasses, you'll have your adjustment lever, and then you'll have low and high. This one may have more speeds than that because it's got a lot going on. Generally, like on mine, I have 3 speeds on my native box. I think this has 4. If this was my seeder, we'd take it all apart. But I guarantee it, that's what you do. Anytime that you have a gear change or anything on a Landpride seeder, I would suspect that they would have toolless anything to where you could change that. So at least get into it. You may have tools to, may have to have tools to do something else to it. But anyways, for another, I mean, it's not double the money, but another 50%, I guess, you can get a whole lot more cedar. And I'm talking a whole lot more cedar. This would have double the capabilities of what my cedar is. The nice thing is you're going to have more adjustability on your native box. I do like the native box in this a little better than mine. I do like that little agitator. I don't know if that's a kit or not. If it is, I would definitely get the kit if you're doing natives. Brome, you're probably not going to worry about it so much, but natives, it would be nice to have that extra little agitator to get it over to the seed cup. I do kind of like that it has a bodied seed cup, but I just don't know about the corrugated tubes. I'd have to use one and see. Like I said, I wouldn't order this with a small seed box. I'm not getting a small seed box on another cedar, but I do want the native, and I do want the cool season. And that being said, with this, I'm actually looking at a 9-footer. If I buy one, I think I want the 9-footer because it's going to be pull type anyways. I ought to be able to pull it most times. I think these are the bigger tires. Yes, those are the bigger tires. So you ought to be able to road this. I would say that you could road this behind a truck, take it to the job site, because obviously a 9-footer is going to be pretty good size. I could take it out to the job site, maybe figure out a way to maybe lock it up or something. I don't know. We'd have to go there, put an air tag on it somewhere, insure it, I guess. And then you could just take your tractor out with your preparation tools or materials or spreader or whatever you need to do for your fertilizer. But on this, I could make a single pass. I don't remember how much I can go up to. I'd have to look it up. But I could make a single pass with this type of drill with Landprides. Even with an APS like a 1572, if you look up the seed rates on it, I know it goes beyond 450 pounds an acre. I don't remember how much it does per thousand, but it was, I want to say I adjusted mine at like 55 on the high side. I'm just going off of memory off my APS 1572, and I think that was putting down 11.5 pounds per thousand. So, and that was 55. And I'm not saying that's what the number was that I was on, This one goes up to 100. I think my APS went up to 80 or so. So it was 2/3 up the scale, and I could put down 11.5 pounds per thousand. One pass instead of two. That only matters if you're doing it for business and you have a lot of area to cover. The only reason I'm looking at something like this is I've got that area that's probably 10 acres plus, and it may be way more than that, but it's 10 acres plus, I would guess. It's so spread out, it's kind of hard. I'm just going to measure it with my that GPS I got, the AgRecision. I'm just going to paint the field, save the deal, and I have to make 2 passes, so I'm literally going to paint the field twice, and I'm just going to divide by 2, and that's what I'm billing on the job. That's what I have to do. I don't have an acre meter to measure what I actually seeded. And if I did, I'd still have to divide by 2 because I have to double pass on the wood seeder. So if you're in it for production, if you want some more versatility, I really do think something like this drill would probably handle your jobs a lot better. And I know it's more money, but if you are doing it for a business, if you are doing it for your livelihood, and time is money, especially in seed season, you've got a small window to seed. I do honestly think, this one of these are in my future. I actually found a used 9-footer. It's got both boxes on it. I don't think it has a small box on it, which I don't need it anyways. If it had it, I'd probably take it off for weight savings. Not that you need weight. I mean, it's heavy, so I guess that doesn't matter. But I'd probably pull it off just for maintenance purposes in general, just not to have it on there. And it would give me more space to get to, because I'm going to use this box quite a bit, and I'm going to use this box quite a bit. But I found a couple 9-footers, and I think one's been used for maybe 100 hours. I don't remember how many acres are on it because it has an acre meter. They want like 12 grand. I would have bought that over my seeder all day long, and I would have kept my APS seeder. Another seeder that you could look at is an APS seeder. If you are looking to primary seed lawns and stuff like that, I would probably do that over the wood seeder. If you don't mind making 2 passes, get the wood seeder. It's okay. But the APS seeders, I'll go over and look and see. I doubt if they have one. I was actually surprised they had this in stock. I'm not quite sure why they have this in stock. I didn't think they generally sold this type of stuff. It does have the travel lights on it. I want to say that's factory. Don't quote me, but I think it's factory because you can plug it into your truck and you can road it to your job site. Generally, that's how people get them to the job sites. They normally don't have this on a tractor and put it on like a 36-foot trailer or something. Anyways, but if you are looking for a different seeder, it's probably a little cheaper or right around the same price as the woods. I would recommend Landpride APS 1572. I know I've got a couple 2 or 3 videos of seeding with my old one. I really wish I would have kept it and just used my seeder for a native seeder. I'd be totally fine if it was just my native and brome seeder, because it is kind of hard to find just a native drill. I even asked Woods if they would just sell it to me with just the native box on it, and it has to have the cool season box on it. I thought maybe if I could get it cheaper, I'd sell mine. I'd buy the native seed box on the seeder. That way I could do natives and brome. I'd get the 7-footer because it wouldn't have a whole lot of weight just having one box on it, and it's not available. You have to get it with the cool season box, and if you seed with the cool season box, you're doing 2 passes to get 10 pounds per thousand. That's just all there is to it. So anyways, thought I might do this review. I know the video's running long, but if you're really looking for a drill, if you're really getting into the seeding business, you may take looks at all of your options. This would